Liverpool versus everybody. This is Off the Dome, and hopefully tonight we are lucky. We will have GBCTV joining us. Few talking points today, guys. Champions League matches. How many people watched that? You weren't really missing much. Unfortunately, the Roma and Shakhtar match was on Facebook Live or something. I don't know why they don't just put that on the same channel. It's really ridiculous. It's nice to be able to go between both matches. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do that today, so it was just the Sevilla and Man United game. Owen, what's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. See, there's two viewers. Whoever that second person is, thanks for stopping by. As I said, we will have GBCTV, hopefully, if all goes well. Jumping on at some point whenever he has time. 4 viewers now. Thank you for everybody stopping by. Yeah, the Man United, look, he's Jose Mourinho, right? I mean, we know what he's about. He is defensive, away from home. It's going to be a boring game. He didn't start Pogba. Listen, I don't care what you say. I don't think that there's not anything to this whole alleged beef between him and Pogba. I think it's real. If you listen to the comments that Jose Mourinho made about Pogba, it's pretty clear that there's something there. Now, do I believe Pogba regrets going to Man United? I don't know that, but I do think listen, this is nothing new. Mourinho, he beefs with everybody. You know, opposing managers, officials, reporters, journalists, his own players, medical staff, women from the medical staff. I mean, fans, every ball boys, everyone's the problem but Mourinho. So I just thought it was interesting that he really became short with one of the journalists today, or I should say the interviewers or whoever, how they do the interview before the game. The guy asked 3 questions in a row about Pogba, and he had gotten fed up and asked him if he was going to ask a different question, then he was going to be finished with this question and answering. But Carl, what's up, man? So yeah, no Pogba. So but he ended up playing pretty early anyway with the injury to Ander Herrera. You know, again, David De Gea. You know, they're at what is the name of that stadium? The Pijon Ramon Sanchez Pijon something. It's a very magical, mystical place. They of 80 games, I think it's something like 8 times they've lost only. They do really well there. We know they've 4 times back to back, I believe, Europa League champions. They're doing pretty well in the Liga. I think they're in the final of their League Cup. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But it's Sevilla. They're doing well. Click and Go, what's up, man? Or young lady, I'm not really sure who. I don't know. I don't remember saying your name, but welcome everybody who's here. So that's a place where you know Sevilla is going to do really well. They got a good team. You know, we know that firsthand, Liverpool fans, of course. And again, if it wasn't for De Gea, you know, the United's best player, not all the other expensive field players they got, it's De Gea, not Lukaku, who can't score a goal in any important games to save his life. Not Martial, who also didn't start, came off the bench. It's De Gea, you know, and they are forever blessed and forever fortunate to have a guy like that between the sticks. Because I'm telling you, man, if it wasn't for him, United would be they would be a shell of what they are right now. I mean, there's no way in the world you could sit back and play that kind of football in a Champions League match without some of your best players, supposedly best players, and think you can come away with anything. Now again, this is Marino, so he's probably happy with the draw. Owen, I'm doing good, man. How are you, bro? How are you? Been a good week so far. The weather's really nice where I am. Obviously, it is winter time, but we've had back-to-back 70 plus degree days from morning to night. So it's lovely. It's lovely. Back to the game. Yeah, you expected this from Mourinho. Going away, getting a draw is not the worst result, but you know, if you're a United fan, you got to be sick with this. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the direction he's taking this team in. I know Sir Alex Ferguson's nose was red, but it's almost like crimson, a deep blood red now. It's the reddest I've ever seen his nose, and he's got to be livid too, because this is just not the United that people are used to. Fans, neutrals, or fans of other teams, you know, it's just not the United used to. I'm happy about it though, because it you know, if they can continue this way, then we that second place should be a shoe-in. Even if they don't, I just feel like at this point, if we can keep our head level, do what we got to do, we can definitely surpass them in the table. But again, really, really boring game to me. Nothing really to highlight besides David De Gea. David De Gea, I mean, he really, really came up big again. They had at least 3 or 4 shots. I mean, point blank, and De Gea just pulls out worldies after worldies after worldies. I mean, I think he's slowly but surely. Actually, I don't even think it's slowly but surely. I think he's the undisputed top keeper in the world, and I got to say that. I mean, he's just year on, year out. I mean, single-handedly almost, keeping that team afloat. And I say it every season. He's responsible easily for at least 15 to 20 points a season for them. That's 5 games. So he's responsible by himself for at least 5 wins every season. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Owen. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I'm glad you made it. Liz, let me know if I'm saying your name right. Liz. Yeah, it was really boring, and again, yeah, it was Sevilla versus De Gea. That's pretty much what it was. Sevilla was unlucky, in my opinion, not to get more from that game. Carl, what's going on? If it wasn't for De Gea, they'd be competing with Burnley for 7th. Yeah, I agree. Maybe worse than that, honestly. I mean, because they just to be United, this big club, this money that they spend every single season, and just to be faltering that way is crazy. Good, I'm glad I got your name right. Firmino, Owen, thanks for bringing that up. Firmino, yes, he's in the clear. I mean, let's be real. I think he was always going to be in the clear. There didn't really seem to be too much substance to what Holgate was saying, and that's a shame. You know what I mean? Because as serious an issue as that is in the game, in the world, really, to say that you were racially abused, which I hate that term anyway, but to say that there was any kind of racism that you experienced on the pitch that day is beyond disgraceful. You know what I mean? And clearly, it was a moment where he had done something off the pitch. Well, on the sidelines, they're pushing Firmino onto the board, and clearly he was worried about getting maybe a red card or whatever from that, and to flip it into somehow, let's turn the attention to Firmino because he called me a nigger. That's disgraceful. And it's really unfortunate. You know what I mean? It really is this day and age that someone would make that up. I know there was talks about him being some miscommunication or whatever, but there's no miscommunication there. It's just a really low blow from Holgate. Someone called you a nigga. If they didn't. There's no. I thought I heard that. It's nigga. There's nothing. It's not like he said another word that rhymed with it or some shit. It's just really, really poor in my opinion. And I hope that there's some kind of retro action for him in that. It just never seemed like something that Firmino would do. It's just not in his character. So it's strange that it took so long for them to come to a conclusion on that, but they did it, and we could kind of move on beyond that. If we take a look about all the other teams, there's other teams. We don't really have much on our plate as far as negative energy in the squad. There's no stories coming out. I'm glad that's done. I'm glad the Flanagan situation has kind of moved on, although I think that should have been dealt with differently, but I can let that go. You look at United, they're in shambles right now. They really are. The manager is back in the news as usual with foolishness with players, and they're not playing that well, and uneasy Pogba, and I'm sure Martial might be slightly uneasy. I mean, this is a big game in the Champions League, and their bench, the players on their bench probably could be starting for a lot of other teams in Europe. So they got some issues, and it's good to see that we don't. Mame, what's up, man? Man, hopefully he's coming in a few minutes. He said around 6:30. We're coming about 2 minutes to that now, so hopefully he comes on. We'll see. So stand by for that. Let's knock on wood. He'll be available. But look at City. They just had a really deflating loss for them. Although I think they'll be able to bounce back. Chelsea. Well, I know what's going on with Chelsea. Tottenham is never really that consistent anyway. Yeah, I know they finished pretty good back-to-back seasons, but towards the end of the season, they always kind of falter a bit. I still think they'll make the top 4. I think they'll bounce out Chelsea, and of course, Arsenal is rebuilding. They'll probably have a new manager next season. I don't see them being a part of the conversation for maybe the next 2 years, if I'm being honest. Somehow they're still getting somewhat, I won't say world class, but good players coming to their team. I don't understand that. Lacazette, of course, Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan. So somehow they still have a pool. I mean, it is Arsenal, that club. The name is big. You're playing in London, North London at that. There's a bunch of attractive reasons, I guess, to join Arsenal. I wouldn't if I was a player, to be honest, coming from a team, another team in Europe. But so real surprise there. Hey, what's up, Greg? He says he's watching. He'll be back. Oh, he'll be on soon. Don't worry, haters. I don't think that nobody's hating, man. I don't think anybody's hating. This is a game that I thought United could struggle in. And you knew how they were going to set up, and it was really a matter of Sevilla being able to break that down. They were going to set up similar to what Chelsea did against Barcelona, which again is a shame. United. This is Manchester United. They should be going there and playing football. You know what I mean? But again, it wasn't a surprise. I can't see them doing the same thing at what's the name of that damn stadium? Oh God, somebody tell me the name of United Stadium. Anyway, I can't think of the name right now, but I can't see them doing that at their home place, playing defensively, low block. It's too much to risk. I mean, this team, you did well with De Gea. He definitely jumped in and played his role. Liz says, we like you. It is just that your team is playing so boring, man. Yeah, he knows it. I mean, if he's honest with himself, which he'll get on here in a second, and we'll have a chance to ask, you guys will have a chance to ask him some questions, but he knows it. I mean, if he was able to watch it, there's no other way to look at it but boring. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. And honestly, most of the games that way more or less in this Champions League. With all the so-called great teams in this competition, I mean, some of these games have been just. I wonder why I even wasted time watching them, to be honest. Mame says, Old Trafford, Eleanor, thank you. Old Trafford. I think I was thinking about toilet, and that just threw me off. But yeah, Old Trafford. Mame, Alexis Sanchez even played at left back sometimes. This is just too much. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But that's Mourinho. That is Mourinho, man. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. Say, what's up? It was a predictable result. Yeah, it was. And again, if it wasn't for the keeper, I think Sevilla run away with this 2-3-0, and they're on their way to the final 8. And I have a really sneaky suspicion that we might have to see Sevilla again, Liverpool, that is. And yeah, we can talk about that as time goes on. But yeah, Osei says Marino was playing for a draw just to nick an away goal. Yep, that seems to be what he does in any kind of big match, or which is really it's so hard on the eye to watch that, man. It's just but again, there shouldn't be any surprises there. This is Marino ball, and his thing is that's a good result for him. That's enough for him. In the second leg, he'll bring it on, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they'll do better in the second half or second leg. Yeah, I didn't get to see the game. I know they lost. Roma's garbage to me, though. I'm not really surprised that they. I shouldn't say garbage, but they weren't one of the teams that I thought would do much in this competition. I was actually surprised that they made it to the knockout round, to be honest. Really, really surprised at that. I don't rate Dzeko. I know we weren't here before, and somebody was hyping Dzeko up. I told you he's not. There's nothing to write home about with Dzeko. It's just not. It's not. He has no pace. Every now and then he can kind of be that guy, maybe like a Thomas Lemar, not necessarily in skill or stature, but just kind of being at the right place at the right time. Because Thomas Mueller, I should say, or Tomas, whatever his name is, he seems to be at the right place at the right time and get these kind of poacher goals. And Dzeko can do that, but I don't think he was even a goal scorer for them today. It was some guy I never heard of. So Roma doesn't impress me at all. Osei says the result could come back to hurt Man United if they don't take care of business at home. Yeah, for sure. I mean, draw is really, really good though in the hindsight. You know what I mean? Away from home, that's if you can't score, that's probably the best result you can get. Again, at Old Trafford, I'm sure they'll well, I shouldn't say I'm sure. I can't imagine them sitting back like that again. I would hope that that's not what happens. Just for the neutral to watch the damn game. Honestly, I don't even know if I watch that again. I mean, especially. I mean, I may watch the first half to see how he's doing it, but if he's doing that same old bullshit, then I'm gonna turn to something else. I can't watch that. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Shakhtar. You know that tie is not over yet, but that could be. You know, I think for some people maybe a shock result, and we can have a kind of a surprise team, if you will, in the final in the quarterfinal. So yeah, not too many interesting games. I think maybe Spurs Tottenham might have been the only one I can think of. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, of course, the beating Porto was exciting for us, but I can imagine for a neutral that wasn't really um, maybe because it lacked any real competitiveness on Porto's part. I mean, if you just like blistering runs and attack and offensive football, you probably liked it because Liverpool's always going to entertain you, good or bad. So, but yeah, it wasn't really much to do with that game for me. Also says David De Gea keeps bailing Manchester United out. Yeah, and again, I've said it. He wins them at least season alone, solo. So yeah, you know, it's just not much there. Here we go. Greg is on. Uh,
Hey,
Good to have you on, bro. Good to have you on. How you feeling? How you feeling? How's the fam? How's everybody?
what's up? What's up, folks? How are you? I see a lot of haters in the comment section. You know I have to be watching from the get go. You heard me?
Man, no haters. Um,
You know, my
so
man be
so
looking
so.
for me when me United doing bad, man. My man be looking for me, bro.
Come on,
You
don't
saw
start
that?
that. You know that's not true. You know that's not. Oh, you said Mame. Oh, you said Mame.
Yeah.
Yeah. You try to rub it in. Carl says, has Moreno ever played beautiful football in his career? He gets results for sure, and his record proves it. But I think he may have
Yeah.
lost this so-called magic. So
We get
what are your
results.
thoughts?
Yo, to start it off, I didn't watch a minute of the game, but from the way it seems like shit. We ain't accomplished nothing, boy. Like it seems like everybody was just basically average. It was they game probably against Man United, just like somebody said in your comments. I don't know. Was you watch the game?
Did I watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the whole game because they didn't have the Roma game. I mean, it was on like Facebook Live, so it wasn't on any of the channels. I saw some of the highlights and saw the score, but yeah, I watched all the Marino game.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah, I didn't get to catch it.
yeah, Marino's rocking the boat again, man. I think there's definitely some truth to the beat between him and Pogba. If you really listen to his responses, and in fact, at one point he was praising whatever that young midfielder is, McTominay, whatever his name is. He was saying how he likes him
But Black,
because yeah,
Black, like in his press conference, he said that he's going for a draw. Like basically, you know what I mean. He stated that, so it's nothing new.
I'm not even talking about that right now. I mean, we know that. We know he's going for a draw. He always does that in big game. But I'm saying his relationship with players seems to be a little rocky. In this case, Pogba. You know, he said verbatim, he said he likes this guy McTominay because he doesn't have this crazy haircut. He has no tattoos. He's just a regular guy that's focused on football. If that's not a
He
shot
said
at
that.
Pogba, yeah. If that's not a shot at Pogba, I don't know what else is. You know
He
what I mean?
said that for real.
Bro, I would make it up. He also said they asked
Oh
him
shit.
about Pogba missing the game recently, and he was like, "Well, you know, Pogba said he was sick, so it was his choice. He didn't want to play." Almost kind of hinting like you should have played anyway if you were sick. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just seems something's not right there. You will never really know what it is, but it definitely seems like something isn't right. Anyway, I just think a game like this, I get it. You want to play for a draw. Why not put Martial in the game though? Why you wait that late to put him in the game? It's really not much he's going to be able to do. And again, as I said already, De Gea bailed y'all out once again.
Hey, Black. To be realistic, I don't know. Put myself in Jose Mourinho's shoes. I think he might just want to, he was his intent to play out for the draw, then to go back home because we got a big game against Chelsea, man. If we
That's
burn out
true.
Martial,
That's true.
if we get the draw, if we drew in, we away anyway. We get the no Sevilla don't score, we don't score when we go home. You know what I mean? We got a big chance. We basically could overpower them. They're
That's a
gonna be
that's a
away
good
from
point.
Spain.
That's a good point. That's true. And like I said, a draw away from home at this place, Sevilla don't lose there rarely. I mean, they've lost 8 times out of 80 games or something crazy like that. So
You
they
see?
do really well there. So that's a good result. Um, at the same, I don't know. I feel like if I was a United fan, I might be a bit salty just at the way he decided. Now, if y'all going to win the tie, then nobody's going to complain. So that's we'll see what happens. Because it's about winning at the end of
But
the
the
day.
thing is, it's about results, results.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like if you get the result in the second leg, then nobody's really gonna, or they shouldn't be talking about it. If you continue to go to go, strength for strength in this competition, then nobody's really gonna complain. Let's see. Also says Marino's an expert at winning games defensively, though. Don't think United owners will care as long as he brings championships back. That's
That's
true.
what I'm
Good point.
saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, I don't care if you win the most boring Champions League title or like you know what I mean, or any cup, anything. I don't care if it's the most boring shit ever, dog. As long as we lifting the trophy, that's all that matters. We can let the critics doing what they do, you know what I mean? But let me ask you a question. You think Pogba has been a big baby or something? Like he too spoiled, but Jose Mourinho not letting him have his way of doing shit, getting special privileges. You think that's the problem?
I think so. I think there's some truth to that. I think well I know Pogba has been really spoiled for most of his career, being in Italy, kind of being the man, being able to kind of just do his thing. I think he's a serious football player, but also I think, like for instance, and I don't even mean the nitpick, but for instance, this guy goes a little too far with the flashy stuff. Like I mean, he's his own man. I respect that. But why are you in the early warm ups? Why do you have earrings on while you're warming up? Why don't you just take that shit off? I don't understand that shit. Like, I don't get guys like that. Like, dog, this is a serious match. You out there with your earrings on. I don't, and I think the kind of
But
guy he is. I'm pretty
it's
sure.
just like Neymar.
Does he do the same thing?
You heard me? It's just like Neymar.
Does he do the
Neymar
same
is
thing?
like I don't know. I said like these him, Pogba, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Neymar, they're just like, marketing stars. So I don't know. I guess that's like a part of marketing themselves.
Yeah, I guess, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't know. I know Pogba's his own man. I know he's a little flashy. I don't necessarily mind that, but sometimes I question his seriousness, his dedication. If you know what I mean. That's all I'm saying. And yes, he does pout a little bit when things don't go his way. And again, Allegri is such a different manager than Mourinho. I mean, they're totally different guys, and I think Pogba was probably allowed to get away with a little bit more. Mourinho might be a bit more of a disciplinarian, and maybe Pogba's just not really. Maybe it's just not a good blend. I don't know. I don't know.
But Juventus Pogba had a team, around him. Juventus Pogba had a team. He didn't have to be the man. Pirlo was there. Marquisio is there. Kadira. They got all these top, forward attackers. Godardo coming off the bench. Man United don't got nobody that could come off the bench and give us a spark beside Martial.
Yeah. I mean, do you think he feels like he has to be the man at United though? Do you think there's too much pressure on him to be the man?
Yeah, because people try on the beginning of the season, people was really campaigning for Pogba to be captain.
Hmm.
You get what I'm trying to say? Then people was like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't think he's ready for the captaincy. He's not ready. Like you dabbing. Captains don't dab, man.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about that, but I think he's I'll say this. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the player power these days, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to force a move away. He seems like the kind of guy that when tough times come about, and I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong about this, but he seems like one of them guys that when times get tough, instead of him kind of just hanging in there and trying to work it out, he might just be like, I'm gonna jump ship. I'm Paul Pogba. Somebody else wants me. So I wouldn't be
Exactly.
surprised.
And okay, Alexis Sanchez came in, and you hear stories about Alexis Sanchez jogging back to go get his keys instead of catching a ride, going in the gym, putting an extra 4 hours of working out, trying to get into shape, trying to be, trying to get ready. You don't hear this shit about Pogba. He a brother, but he don't do none of that other shit. He don't go the extra mile. Jose Mourinho want him to set examples. He's young, so we got to give him that. And Jose Mourinho wants structures. There's instructions when Jose Mourinho playing. You can't just be taking the ball and doing flair shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you gotta attack. When we winning, okay, but we're not winning. Fuck that step over move, man. Let's go. Let's play the game how it's supposed to play. Follow the man. That's why Jose Mourinho like Tony. He followed the instructions.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in that regard, I think Pogba has gotten better personally in that. I think the moves that he does do, most of the time that I've seen him, it's a move that's you know makes sense for that moment. You know, I don't think he's doing too much flashy things. Um, we know he has that in his locker, but I think from what I've seen when he does those things on the field, not like after with the dabbing and all that, but on the field, I feel like a lot of times when he's doing those trick plays, it makes sense when he does them. It's not like he's just trying to show off or embarrass someone. But that's the thing about Marino. I do respect him to a degree because with all of his teams, you notice the players that he falls out with is players who don't like the idea that Marino wants them to do work and stuff other than just scoring the ball. You know, he wants people to work back, play defensive. And a lot of guys he's fallen out with, they haven't really wanted to follow that way of playing, and they end up getting frustrated. And then it looks like Mourinho is the one who's starting the beef. You know what I mean? When really it's a collective thing, and he's the manager. At the end of the day, he's the manager. So if you're world class or a good player, you play what a manager tells you to play. It's not about pouting. I mean, you get paid millions of dollars. That's why I don't get when these guys are on this. Oh, well, I don't want to play there. That's not my position. Listen, if you want to play, then you play where the coach puts you. That to me is what a professional does. You know what I mean? Let me bring up James Milner for a second. Now, I'm not trying to say that he's world class. I'm not comparing him to Pogba, but what I'm saying is he's that kind of mature professional where it's like, look, I want to play as much as I can. I don't want to play left back, but if that's what the coach wants me, that's what I'm gonna play. And I think in that sense, Klopp is a bit better. I shouldn't say better, but there's something about him that players are willing to go that extra mile and do more in his system than I think right now Mourinho has. I think he might have had it at one point in his career, but I don't know if he has that anymore. And I think that might be the deciding factor as far as players coming to that team. Because people look at news like we do, and they think, oh, Mourinho again, he's talking shit in the media. Players don't like him. Fair or not, I think a lot of times that looks bad on him. And I think players see that. And Pogba's popular. So, he talks. So all it takes is for him to talk to everybody else in Europe and be like, hey, man, don't come here. This motherfucker's crazy. And then that's it. So, but I'm talking real shit, though. Like, that's how it works. So, again, if Man United start winning and they win some trophies this year, which they still have a great chance to do, then nobody's really going to be complaining about it, and they'll still have a draw to get players. They got Marino, they got this big club, which is Man United, Old Trafford. They're going to get players in the summer, but I think there are some players that would think twice, like, I don't know. I've seen lately how some players have gone there and shit hasn't worked. So I don't know. What's up with Bailly? I thought he was healthy. Why did he play?
Yo, I don't know. I think he's just coming back from injury, so they did not started him. Jose Mourinho. You see how the little stunt he played last game when he put Bailey in the last 5 minutes of the game, but I don't know. I don't think Bailey's ready yet to make a full start. But how you think Lindelof did?
He did okay. There was nothing that really stood out. Again, defensively, it was really about De Gea. Nobody defensively on that team that I can remember really stood out. Lindelof was good, and I think over time, maybe some more starts, he could kind of develop into a better player. But there was nothing special from United at all. Honestly, Lukaku had some moments holding the ball, trying to make some runs. He was working hard today. He impressed me. But Alexis Sanchez was at
Black, you recognizing that now, right? You recognize
Lukaku
hard work now, right?
He's really working hard. He may not be getting the rewards for it, and I'm still disappointed in him because he's still not scoring against quality teams. But that's another topic. But he is working hard. It's not like he's not trying. He wasn't getting a lot of service, but he was definitely working hard, making the runs in the channels, and trying to be that focal point. It just didn't really come off for United, but not for the lack of trying. I can be honest and say that. Osei says Paul Pogba just does not want to play defense or do the dirty work. Pogba still has the magic effect to him, to the team. He just makes stupid mistakes and does not work as hard as he should, but he is still a world class. Owen says Sevilla doesn't look like the same team we played. I disagree with that. we don't play like United, and so it may seem like United sat back all day. If we did that, they might, it might be a similar outcome. And again, I hate to keep saying it, but it was De Gea. It wasn't really anything but that. That's what kept Sevilla from winning this game, at least 2 or 3-0, straight up. De Gea, nothing else. And it's hard to break down these teams like that. It's really hard to break down these low block teams. It's no stroll in the park. So that was probably frustrating for them. Sevilla looked good today. I mean, I get what you're saying, Owen. They didn't look like they played against us, but that's because the United didn't really allow them to be honest. I mean, just playing that low block, it's really, really frustrating. So yeah, but yeah, I heard Allison was doing good for Roma, although they lost. I don't know how the goals went. Mama, I know you said you saw the game. You said he looked good. So was it a breakdown for Roma's defense that allowed the goals for Shakhtar? Let me know, my man, because I didn't get to watch the game. But I can't wait
Yo,
for this
Black.
weekend, man. Some really, really good games. And like you said, I didn't really think about this until you said it, but perhaps that's what Jose was doing, man, trying to just keep his team as fresh as he can. Because the Chelsea game is big, and at this point, the top 4 spots are really, really, really tight. And Chelsea's going to be trying to beat you guys, and vice versa. So that's probably a smart move on him in hindsight when you think about it. That he probably, the reason why he sat Martial and probably didn't bring on Pogba until he really had to because Herrera was hurt.
Yo, Black. What do you think about for the 10 days that Liverpool are off? How you guys fall in love with the media? How the media giving you guys all the love in the world?
Have we been getting love?
What? Almost every damn article I'm reading is about Liverpool, 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 Liverpool.
Really? Okay, yeah, I haven't really noticed any of that, to be honest.
What? It's all about Liverpool. Klopp is the man. This, that, and the third. Mane became the man. Yo, it's been a week where we haven't heard about Salah, man. That's crazy.
See you later, Mike. Thanks for stopping by. He said Fred took an unreal free kick. Yeah, no, I didn't see that, but honestly, so I'm gonna have to look that up. I mean, that's all nice and everything. I think you know, so often I feel like we're used to hearing negative stuff, and some of it was warranted and rightfully so. But I'm not gonna get all excited because they're talking about Liverpool. Honestly, I prefer the spotlight to be off of us and on somebody else. We can kind of just be that quiet kind of sniper and come up and shock people.
Nah, it's on you
I,
guys now. It's on you
huh?
guys now. Yo, it's on you guys now. Y'all in the top 2, 3 teams to win the Champions League.
Yeah, I definitely haven't seen that. I definitely haven't seen that or heard that. But I mean,
Yeah, it's around.
okay, okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. But yeah, I mean, again, it's nice, but I mean, that's probably the extent of my excitement about it. It is what it is. I mean, we still gotta handle our business because they're saying that right now. We go in and have a couple bad results and be back to old Liverpool. So I don't really get too hung up with all that, man. It almost feels sometimes that kind of stuff could be like a jinx. So I just kind of stay in my own lane and just I enjoy it while it lasts, while we're doing well. Again, we've had moments where post a good result, Klopp will take these guys out to a warm climate, have them work away from England. We come back and we drop it. We drop an egg. So as long as we can just keep fighting. There's been a lot of talk about people doubting that Salah can keep up this rate. That may be true. I don't know who's to say that can't happen though. I mean, I know it's probably unheard of for a winger to keep up that rate, but I think it's possible. It's football. You never know.
So, you think
So
what do you think about City, man? If they lose that Carabao Cup final Sunday against Arsenal, so you think people really gonna expose Guardiola?
no, I think people are taking that a little too far. I mean, there was something about that match. Because first I was like, I'm not watching this game, but I'm so starved for football because Liverpool's not playing, so I'll watch anything. And I was thinking, you know what? Matter of fact, I was sleeping, and then I woke up and I was like, let me check on this game. And it was like just after halftime, and it was still 0-0. I said, okay, let me watch this. By that time, I didn't know that City was down a man. I said, okay, Wigan might be able to pull something off here. But at the worst, at the least, I was thinking a draw. They got the goal, then all the things that happened afterwards. It's one game. I mean,
Boy,
that's what 3 losses they've had in all competitions this season. It's not the worst thing. I think they'll bounce back. If anything, City and if I know Guardiola's demeanor, he's not going to let them, sit on this for too long. I don't know who they play at the weekend. I think it's Arsenal, maybe, but
Yeah,
I forget
Arsenal,
who
they're
it is.
playing in the Carabao Cup final.
Oh, right. But I mean, okay. Yeah, so I mean, they'll be whoever their next game, they'll be up and ready and for that game. I wouldn't really, and at the end of the day, they're going to win the league, right? I mean, it's going to take a major fall for them to mess this up. So if I'm a City fan, I'm not really worried. You never want to lose games, but it's really not the end of the world. It's I mean, it's probably embarrassing to a degree. But I found out that it's true that the guy that ran on that pitch, he spit in Aguero's face. So I'm telling you, the pitch invasions must stop, man. They got to stop. It's just too much to risk. But this guy really spit in Aguero's face, and he's lucky Aguero couldn't get away because Aguero was ready to mop the floor with that guy.
That's crazy.
So Owen said we're getting the recognition we deserve. Eleanor says even in Liverpool, our local media isn't about LFC and Salah love. Wow. Okay. Mame said the world is starting to respect Liverpool. You don't hear issues on the players, on the team, or the coach, and we play beautiful. Yeah, that's my point. To be focused on us, I'm glad it's a good thing. I'm glad it's no negativity. A lot of the other clubs have, one or two things that are kind of disrupting what they got going on. So that's definitely a good point. Eleanor says no one in Liverpool is saying that we're going to win Champions League. Wow. No one? Wow. No one wants to jinx it. Okay, yeah. And after all, it's us. Anything can happen. Right. That's great. Very good points, Eleanor. Appreciate that. I definitely don't want to jinx it either. So as confident as I am, we got to just go through we got to go through this and hopefully we can, do well at least, and finish in a way that we can kind of look back and say, okay, you know what, we played our best. The other team, which is better than us, but we'll see. It's still so much to go, man, and nothing is set in stone. As much as we can finish second, we can easily finish fifth as well. So we got to just really, really keep fighting and just take this momentum with us. Keep it going. Carl said that fan deserves a lifetime ban. Yeah, he does, and I'm waiting to see what happens with that. I mean, it's just shameful, man. The way that they allow people on the field like that.
He
I
not
mean,
gonna get charged.
you don't
He
think
not
so?
gonna get charged.
Yeah, you're probably
Nah, he
right.
not gonna get charged.
Yeah, you're probably
But
right.
Manchester City gonna end up probably want to sue them. Him and our Manchester City and our want to sue him. Want to sue the fan.
Oh, really? Okay. Um, Owen asked, "Do I get pissed off seeing all these rumors about transfers when it's only the middle of February?" No, I don't. I don't get pissed off. Because part of me it's exciting. You know what I mean? Even if you know they're rumors, because hopefully there's a couple players that you kind of like that are thrown in there, and you can kind of speculate on that with friends on Twitter or whatever or on here. But I don't really get too excited because again, it's just rumors, and like you said, it is February, so there's no need to really get too hype about it because we just don't know what's going to happen. Again, I have my players that I want to see. I was actually on a podcast last night, and I mentioned some of those players. But honestly, I've said it before, and I kind of almost trust anybody to come to Liverpool. I think right now they've been talking a lot about Arsenio, or what's his name for Real Madrid? Asensio, what's his name? The player for Real Madrid.
Yeah, Asensio. He not Isco.
Yeah, Isco. There's been so many names coming up. Decore, of course, Allison. So Pulisic, it may be one of those players. It may be two. It may be none. So that's the thing with the rumors. I don't really pay too much attention because you just never know that they are rumors. So yeah, Asensio, Owen. Yeah. It's
But it's
again,
like,
it'd be
wow,
nice,
man.
but I don't get too excited. What'd you
You,
say?
you got you guys have been linked with everybody. Want to play, and their mama want to play for Liverpool now.
I don't know if that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's actually true. You would be led to believe that, but half of those rumors won't come to be. So I mean, I think if that's true, that's good. That Klopp has that pull. Um, but again, this season is not over yet, and we haven't accomplished anything yet. Nothing.
So
Beating Porto is one thing.
you
Go ahead.
think Naby Keita attitude is welcome? Bad boy attitude starting brawling.
Yeah, again, I talked about that yesterday, and to me, he didn't start a brawl, and it wasn't a brawl. People that say that in the paper is just silly to me. But Again, we talked about that on the podcast yesterday as well. And my feeling is we need that. You think of a guy like, your boy, Roy Keane, or even Eric Cantona. Like some of these players, they had this fire in them. And I doubt, Sir Alex was like, oh, you know what? I got to really calm this guy down. No, that's part of who they are. And they'll go down as Man United legends, because they were good, but also because they had that still. And you knew you can count on, in a derby game, you knew you can count on them to be really, really up for it. They were going to fight. They were going to get guys in line. If guys were fucking around in training or in games, they were going to pull them to the side like, yo, you need to fix up. These guys, people feared them. You know what I mean? And I think Liverpool have been so nice for so damn long, man, so soft. And I think we won awards for being the nicest team, or the team who got the least amount of red cards. I'm tired of that, man. So sure, we don't want him just getting red cards, every other week. And I don't think that'll happen. But also, I think part of the thing that's been bothering Naby is that comment that I think the owner or the coach made about, about his country and him coming from an area of, and he has like a clan of people who who affect his decision making on what team he was going to go to, whatever. The coach or the owner made some really kind of fishy comments about him. I think that kind of bothered him, but I just think football has come to a point now where, you might not be able to be as aggressive as you once were, back in the day where guys were putting in tackles. So you got to kind of be careful, but at the same time, I don't want him to lose the fire that he has because we really need that. I think we really need that. So no, I don't think he's a problem. I don't think the red cards he's gotten this season, which people blown out of proportion as well. Like the season before that, he did pretty well as far as cards. He's got just as many yellow cards as Emery does this season.
So Black, top two players beside Keita. Who
Say
you
again?
Want to be at Liverpool? Top two players beside Keita.
I really want Martins, man. I was watching him last night, and the Portuguese league.
You guys think you need another winger?
Oh, for sure. We can't just run Salah and Mane into the ground. We need some kind of cover, or just a better option to rotate. You think about when you rotate them with the team now. Who do you put up there? Ox. I mean, there's nobody really you can think of to say, okay, I can see this guy coming in, and we might not be able to drop off that much. Like I can see Gelson Martins coming right in and taking over from Mane if we need to. Just as fast, if not faster. Probably don't score as many goals. Might not be as strong as he is. He's probably younger too, but he still offers that same kind of pace and quickness. As far as midfield, of course, we talked about I like Ndidi, I like Decore, I like Wanyama, but I just don't think Wanyama is an official like a DM's DM, and I don't really see Klopp going for a guy who doesn't also provide some creativity like a Decore. And Ndidi also is kind of more of just like a sitter. He can be a little creative, but out of those three, Decore to me is the most creative. So
you rate Decore over Wanyama?
I don't rate him over him. I'm just saying I think Wanyama is more of a, your
Liverpool better.
Yeah, like he's your classic, tough defensive. Like he'll just do that. That's it. He'll just sit in front of that back four and that's it. You don't have to ask him to do much going forward. Like he can do that. Of course, he showed that he scored a goal against us, but that's rare for him. He's not really going to be that guy pushing forward. He's more of a guy just kind of start the game from the defense and helping out the back line. So any one of those guys I would love. And also somebody else that can attack from midfield. I like Gini. I like Ox. Lallana, I'm kind of on the fence with him. Henderson, his injury issues are becoming a problem to me. And I just don't think he's good enough, really, if I'm being honest. So we do need to make some changes. What they are, I'm not quite sure yet. Same with the defense. We do need some changes. But, I mean, I'm liking what we're doing right now. We'll see what happens. Let me read some of these comments real quick. Carl said, I think this summer we're going to spend big. I'm really excited for the summer. Me too. I don't know how big we'll spend, but I am excited about it. Decore said last week that he was contacted by LFC. Mame says, yeah, I saw that. But I'm sure he was contacted by other players, other teams as well. Again, we'll see what happens. To me, that doesn't really necessarily excite me until it actually happens. But good shout. Carl says, what would make a successful season for you, Aaron? Finishing
top 4, no trophy.
Yeah, but like top 3 though. I mean, we got 4 last season. That was good. I would like to get hopefully as high as second. I think that's an improvement. Getting maybe semifinal of Champions League, I think that's possible. Listen, I've already said it. I think we can win it all. But I mean, even getting to the knockout stage and looking like we'll get past that, that to me is good. I mean, coming from where we've been and not been in the Champions League for a long time, long enough for a team like Liverpool. But yeah, mainly, getting top two in the league, I think is a success. Listen, I'm willing to be patient with this team. I know it's been a long time, but Klopp is really building something with this team, I believe, and so we just got to be patient and hope that next season can kind of be the season where we kind of solidify ourselves as being, a top threat in Europe, and I think that can happen with the addition of some other players, and hopefully Salah can keep up doing what he's doing, Mane, Firmino, things of that nature. We can stay healthy, or healthy enough, and we're gonna get injuries here and there, but and kind of clear out some of the dead wood in our team. I think we got a lot of dead wood and a lot of guys that they need to just be gone or just bench players. They play in situational moments. But that's a good question, and I'd like to know you guys' feelings on that as well.
Black.
What's a successful season? That's a good question, Carl. What's up?
Yo, all right, quick question. Since looking around, I see that Man City is the only squad around Europe that have a second team. Their B team is just like the A team. They have basically two squads of world class players. You know what I mean? When they say they put in a backup team, it's like world class players. So much hype about the quadruple, this, that, and the third, losing to Wigan, and God forbid, let me knock on wood for those fans. They're going, you know what I mean? They're going to the Carabao Cup Sunday and lose against Arsenal. So that's two big matches back to back they lose. Would their season be a success? Just winning the Premier League?
That's a good question, man. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, like you said, they got a amazing bench, man. So much talent, and again, we think this is something. Guardiola's going to be building this team like a Lego structure, man. He's every season just piling on more players, more players, more players. When you can spend that much money on goalkeepers and fullbacks, I mean, this guy has an open checkbook. They probably say, look, Pep, whoever you want, you'll never hear us say no. You bring in who you want, and as a coach, you gotta love that because you can never say that. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of managers over time, now, in the past, and in the future, that will say, well, you know what? I wasn't really given the resources. I didn't really, depending on what club you manage, that's
I think you
really
guys should get Yaya Toure.
what.
I think you guys should get Yaya Toure. He barely getting any game time at City. He's out the door. I think he got 2 seasons in him.
Nah, of all the players that's running low on their contract or leaving, that's not a guy I want. I mean, I don't really see that. I think Yaya Toure might go to MLS or something. I don't know, but
Man, you
I
have
mean,
a
I like
chance to
Yaya.
win
I
it.
like Yaya, but I don't know how much he has to offer at this point in his career. I just don't see that. And honestly, I mean, if we get a guy like we have a guy like that as far as age and experience in Milner. I don't think we need another older kind of veteran in there. I don't know. That's a good shout. I mean, interesting shout, I should say. I don't know if that'll happen, and it's not something that I really would want to happen. But we'll see. I mean, I think he deserves to be somewhere. I don't know if it's coaching, playing, or what, but he definitely needs some playing time. If he plans on extending his career longer, he definitely needs some playing time. When and how he's going to get that, I don't know.
Manchester
Let's see.
United could win the Champions League.
Well, any team could. We'll see what happens. Um, Pulisic will be a great addition, and he likes Klopp. Yeah. I don't know how much how. I think I need to watch more of Pulisic. I mean, I think he's definitely a talent, but I don't know. Lately I've been questionable about guys coming from other leagues coming to the Premier League. So I don't know. He could be good. Owen says realistically, all we can do is get top four this season. Yeah, but it's not a given. I mean, we there's a chance that we may not get it. Again, it's all about what we do. Just because we're second right now or third right now doesn't mean it's really all we. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying realistically because you probably think we can't realistically get Champions League. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Pulisic says he
Man
likes United
United
though.
will win the Man United will win the Champions League. I'm calling it early on your channel.
Okay. Pulisic says he likes United though. Yeah, and I like the response to that. He'll probably have a little. He probably won't get much time under Man U if he joins Man U, much playing time, and that's probably true. But then again, I don't know. I mean, it all really depends. You got a young talent coming in like that. He's proven. I mean, but the question you would ask is where is he going to play, and whose spot is he going to take consistently? So that's a good shot. I don't really know. Osei says Andy Gray thinks Manchester City won't be as dominant next season, but Richard Keys disagrees. I don't really care for either one of those guys, so I don't really look at that. But that's an interesting point. He said Richard Keys said the TV deal for the Premier League is going to be less, which means teams are going to have less money to spend in the transfer market. Okay, I don't know about that. Mame says Yaya is done. Yeah, I don't really see why.
I don't think so.
I don't
I
really
don't
see
think
why
so.
anybody would want him. Jose says Man City and Man United will always spend money. Chelsea might compete, especially if they have a bad season. Always do. Yeah. Carl says Yaya lost a step or two, and Klopp's system will burn him out. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't really see a need to get a guy like that. He's already slow as hell now. He's very smart still, very cerebral, but I don't really see him helping us, to be honest. Owen says United fans are consistent in being ambitious. It would make sense for Pulisic to go to Liverpool since he has worked under Klopp before, says Jose. But it seems like Klopp is really hesitant to go for former players. And that could change, but he's had more than enough, chances to go after them, and he hasn't really done it for one reason or another: the money, the fit, in the squad or whatever. So I don't really think Pulisic is a guy that we're going to get. Not because we don't want him or he's not good necessarily, anything like that, but I think Klopp, for whatever reason, is staying away from getting guys directly from Dortmund. Now, Germany, sure. But even with that, he isn't. I mean, I think Karius is the only one. So, I mean, I don't really see that happening. I guess you got Klavan from there, too. I think Klavan was in Augsburg, but I don't really see that happening. So, Mommy said, man, you can't win playing like this. Yeah, I think Greg was just joking. I think he knows Man U's not winning no damn Champions League. I didn't really pay that no
Yo,
mind.
Black, I was serious, bro. I was serious.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm being serious.
We shall see.
You know why?
Why?
Jose just basically letting everybody as they run in the Champions League. At some point in time, most gonna crash. And Jose resting our players, I think we're gonna have the extra guys. You know, the day that we come and beat a big team that everybody gonna doubt us, so we play too defensive, is the day that Jose is just pacing. Cause, all right, like today, everybody expected Man United to win, even though it was gonna be difficult. You know what Jose did? He got a draw. The draw just basically will show him the next game. When he get back home, even though we win 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, we qualify for the next round. The next round, we do the same shit and grind out another victory. It's just like that. And then the Chelsea game is pivotal to our season. If we beat Chelsea, that's just one team that's right behind us that's trying to get to the top four that we could just basically set back. And it's all calculation, man. I think that's what separates Mourinho from all these other managers: calculation, planning, and just knowing that a draw is the best thing to do. Like going into Sevilla, he already knew a draw was the best result that he needs to get. Don't try to force the W. Let's play for the draw and let's see what's going down. That's what he just did. But Jose, Man United gonna win one more trophy. The FA Cup is ours. Champions League will be the furthest team in the Champions League. And Manchester City gonna run into a roadblock and lose. And Liverpool, they're just gonna sleep on somebody and get their head knocked off. We're gonna be the last one standing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's not much time to find out if there's any truth to that. We'll see. Honestly, I think of all the Premier League teams that are still in it, United have performed the worst, in my opinion. Of course, that doesn't mean much because they like you said, they got a decent result, and they're still very much in this tie. I mean, it's it's up for grabs, literally, and they'll be playing at home. So you may be right. We'll see. Uh, I just so if you're Mourinho, do you play the same way at home? Do you play low block and just give them the ball and hopefully you can just get someone to counter attack, or do you attack them? I guess we lost Greg. Um, so yeah, oh there you go.
Yeah,
Did you
my
hear my
bad, my
question?
bad.
Did you hear my question?
No, what was your question? My bad.
I said, if you're Mourinho, do you play the same way you played tonight, low block and just let them have the ball, or do you attack them?
Who, Chelsea?
No, if you're Mourinho, if you're United in the next game against Sevilla, do you play the same way you did tonight, or do you attack them?
Shit. Attack till we get one goal and just sit back. I don't care. I just care
Okay,
about the W.
okay.
From
Mommy
from
says, mommy says,
from my
resting what? You go
go
ahead,
ahead,
bro.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Mommy said you've been playing like this the whole season. The game you played today, if Sevilla had better offense, they would destroy you. Man, of the match was De Gea. That says a lot.
I mean, it is what it is. We've been playing like that. They said they were gonna destroy us like since the beginning of the season. We still second. We basically 1 foot in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We still in the FA Cup playing trash. I mean, every match they say they're gonna destroy us. We come out and win. So I don't know how long they could say that for.
Who do y'all have in the FA Cup next? Do you know?
I think uh, I'm not too sure.
Okay,
I
okay,
was gonna say I'm not too sure.
yeah. Like I said, I think depending on what other teams do, Chelsea's got a tough run in, man. They just had Barcelona. They got you guys next. Then they got City. Um, but again, football's an old funny game. I mean, they could very well. I know this is probably not going to happen, but they could very well beat both Manchester teams, and then they'll be back into the conversation of top four. So it's gonna be wild to see, though. It's gonna be wild to see, man. These last few months of the season, how it finishes off. I think the one thing that we have in our favor is that we don't have. Now, I'm not happy about this, but we don't have the Carabao Cup. We don't have the FA Cup. We just have Champions League and the league. So other teams will be having all these other competitions to prepare for and rest guys, and a lot of times that could disrupt the Premier League campaign. So in a way, it's almost like a blessing in disguise. Yes, I want to be in other competitions because it heightens our chance to get a trophy, but this is what we have, so we got to use it to the best of our ability and take advantage of it. And I think if United start to fall, because I think Chelsea is pretty much done. We'll see what happens this weekend. That'll tell a lot. But if United starts to fall, again, I think second is all ours. But I think Jose's I think he's putting more focus on the league. I mean, he's in second right now, but I think he's still focused on the league and trying to make sure he can solidify that. So while it looks like he's not
Exactly.
really, yeah, while it looks like to the neutral or to me sometimes that he's not really giving too much thought to the Champions League, I think he is, but he's definitely wanting to focus a lot on the Premier League. Because honestly, like you say, Jose could very well play this way and get to the final. I can see it happening. I don't think it will, but I wouldn't
Me
be
too.
but I wouldn't be surprised because the rest of the teams that in this competition, they all play open football for the most part. Especially if Spurs beat Juventus, that takes away the last kind of defensive teams that you got to worry about. So if he does that against a team like Barcelona or Real Madrid or us, I mean, all those teams can really struggle against that. So you got a good point. That's why I'm kind of banking on I want Sevilla to win. Even though we don't do that well against Sevilla, I don't want to have to face United in the next round. I just don't want to. Not because I don't think we can win, but that's an unnecessary frustration to have to go through. If we can avoid United. Look, I would love to get United and beat them, but I'd rather us avoid them and get another team.
You
But
just
again,
as bad. Just
the
as bad
Premier
as
League,
maybe.
the Premier League teams are doing really good. I wouldn't be surprised if all Premier League teams go through to the next round. So it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be fun. We'll see. Let me read some of these comments real quick. Liz says you played Brighton in the FA Cup. Okay, so y'all played Brighton in the FA. She said they would destroy you. Well, Brighton.
Hey,
You
look,
never
man.
know. It's been a lot of
We will
upsets
make
this
it
year,
to.
man. It's been a lot of upsets this year in these cup games, man. Tottenham got it. Y'all got it, and no, y'all lost to who y'all lose to in one of them cups? Like I forgot who it was. Y'all lost to somebody in the cup game.
I don't remember it.
But yeah, all the big teams are kind of at one point or another they're losing to these teams they shouldn't be losing to. So
It's not gonna
again, that's the
happen.
joy of football, man. That's the joy of football. It happens. But yeah, man. Unless there's anything else you wanted to say, man, I was gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
No, man. Just know that Manchester United gonna win 2 trophies this season. Champions League gonna be won. We gonna make it to the final. We gonna
Okay.
win the FA. And we're
I
gonna
love
be
your
like,
confidence, man. I love your confidence.
and when we
We'll
do, look,
see.
if we don't win it, if we don't win the Champions League, we'll be top 4 teams left in the Champions League. And then I want to come back on your channel and I want everybody to say sorry under the comments.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't think that's gonna happen, but we'll see. Hey, look, if they do, then I will eat my words. I don't see that happening at all. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't necessarily see that happening. We'll see what happens. Marino is one of them dudes, man. You never know with him. He's got experience. He's got the pedigree. He's done it before, of course, with more than one team. So respect him for that. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll come back this weekend if you got time, Greg. Thanks everybody for
Yeah,
stopping
this
by.
weekend I'm
We'll see
off.
you guys next time. All right, bro.